Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to another episode of DBZ Talk. And today we're going to be talking about whether the size of a Kamehameha wave actually matters. So, let's get straight into it. So, normally you determine the power of a energy blast from Dragon Ball Z by its size. So if you saw a massive energy blast, you'd be like, whoa, that's going to be powerful, isn't it? But what if a character were to use a compound attack? Would that be a compound energy attack, like a really small one, a skinny one? Would that make it weak? Let's find out. So normally if you saw like a really small energy wave, you'd think that would be from a very weak character, like Yamcha or Krillin. Well, they're not necessarily weak, but they definitely are next to Goku in that. So from a weaker character, you'd normally think they'd give out a smaller Kamehameha wave. But I guess if a Z warrior, because they can concentrate their energy into one spot, so they can. This is also given that they can concentrate it more precisely to make it smaller and smaller. So you could get a Kamehameha wave the size of Yamcha's shot by a Super Saiyan 3. So what I'm getting at here is that if you had two characters going head to head with each other in a battle, and they had exactly the same strength, and then they got angry at each other like a lot, and then they both powered up to full power and shot an energy beam at each other, and one of them shot a compound energy beam, a small one, and the other one shot like a massive one. So would the size of the Kamehameha wave, affect the outcome of that energy blast clash? And the answer is no, it won't. Because it doesn't matter, when they're clashing anyway, when the energy blasts are clashing, it doesn't matter what size the wave is, it matters what the strength of the character is who's shooting the energy beam. So you could have someone that's a lot more powerful shooting a smaller blast, but they'd still win. For example, when Cell got annoyed at Gohan because he couldn't beat Gohan when Gohan was at Super Saiyan 2 level, Cell shot an absolutely tremendous size of a Kamehameha wave at the Earth, and it looked like it was going to destroy the Earth. But then Gohan deflected it with his own Kamehameha wave that was about a sixth of the size, but it still pushed Cell's Kamehameha wave back easily. So if there's two energy waves in a clash, the size of it does not matter. But when it's hitting an opponent straight, then that's where it does matter, when the energy beam's hitting opponents straightly and directly. So, if you had a massive energy beam hitting an enemy, there'd be a lot of energy that would not be used, which is the energy that's not actually touching the enemy, which is all the excess energy around it. And that's not touching the enemy, so it's not going to necessarily hurt him, but it will still make the wave, it still does make the wave quite strong, giving it more force to push. But that energy is not actually hurting the enemy because it's not touching the enemy. So if you had a really small Kamehameha wave, all the excess energy would not be, all the excess energy would be touching the enemy. So it would actually do more damage if it was more of a compound energy wave than it would be if it was spread out. But either way, it'd still have the same force because it's still got the same amount of power, but it's just more compact into one energy beam. So, let's say if a Super Saiyan or whatever power level shot their Kamehameha wave in a compound size at the enemy, that would deal a lot more damage than it would if the other person shot a more spread out energy wave, because the load of the excess energy is more out of range so it wouldn't hit the enemy. The only downside to having a compact Kamehameha wave is that it may make it a bit harder to hit your target, since a bigger one has more of a chance of hitting since it's got more of a range around it, so it can hit the target, when a smaller one doesn't. So a bigger one has a bit more of a chance of hitting the enemy, which would also probably deal a little bit less damage, when a more compound one has less of a chance of hitting the enemy, but would probably deal a bit more damage. But yeah, as I said earlier, if someone was using a compound and the other one was using a spread out energy blast in a clash, it would depend on the strength of the characters. So back to what I was saying earlier in the video, the two characters that are the same strength and they're at full power, they'd probably be clashing for a little while, and eventually one would probably give up and come out of the clash and try and find another way to beat their opponent. I can take a breath now. So yeah, that was the end of the video, and I hope you enjoyed this next Dragon Ball Z Talk episode. And yes, I have been waiting a little while again to put this video out, just haven't had time because we have been excited over the ending of school. And yeah, that video that I put 5 days left of school, I changed the title to 7 days because it was actually 7 days left, but I forgot about the extra Monday and Tuesday. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and hope to see you all next time. Goodbye, everybody.